How's it going? I got a website, it's called pointlesstraveler.com. I'm here in Jerico, Brazil. I've been using the Fuji XT1 for about 5 months or 6 months. And as you can see here, I took 5,389 photos, okay? Basically, this camera, it kind of just does one thing. It takes high ISO photos that are very glossy and modern and slick looking. A lot of people say that it takes low ISO photos also, but that really isn't true. You're going to have a difficult time getting a lot of detail in your whites if you shoot at a low ISO. With clouds, sea foam, or other things that are white like snow and sand, it's difficult to get a shot of it unless you shoot at a high ISO. You get plenty of detail at high ISO, but high ISO photos are kind of they're kind of silky. They don't have a ton of detail. When you take photographs of the forest, you'll notice it. Like the trees are kind of blended together a little. But they take nice portraits of people's faces and what have you. Basically, I always set it to 6,400 ISO, and I always set it to 4,000 shutter speed. And then if I don't have enough light and I need my photos to be brighter, I simply just turn the aperture wheel clockwise. And if I run out of light, if it's too dark at f.1.4, then I just drop it down to 2,000 shutter speed or lower, all the way down to 180 or maybe even 60. Okay? So I go -2 noise reduction, -2 highlight tone, -2 shadow tone, +2 sharpness, and I usually leave the color alone, but if there isn't going to be anybody in the photo, I can pump the color up to +2. And what I found is that Hyper Negative takes bigger JPEGs than the other film simulators. So if you take a photo with Chrome or Velvia or Standard Pro Via, the JPEGs aren't as easy to manipulate afterwards with the iPhone or with an iPad or whatever. And I'm able to transfer these fine JPEGs to my iPhone and just make adjustments with the photo app in the iPhone. Film simulator bracketing with Chrome, Velvia, and Hyper Negative, it produces smaller JPEGs because it's producing 3 JPEGs instead of 1. So I always only produce 1 JPEG at Hyper Negative here, and I always leave it on this little dot there, where that puts your subject into the center of your photo. And it focuses on the subject in the center and leaves the rest kind of blurry. And I never turn the camera off. As you can see here, it doesn't turn off. This is kind of jammed. And the reason is because I always leave it on. The firmware takes a long time to heat up, so I always leave a battery in the camera and I always leave it on. I just let it go to sleep. I put 1 battery into the charger and 1 battery in my bag and 1 battery in the camera. And every morning I take the battery out of the charger and switch it with the battery that's in the camera. So the XT1 is awesome because it's weather resistant, and so are the lenses. I never take the lens off. I keep moisture out of the camera by leaving my prime lens on. I never take it off, okay? And I dropped this camera twice. You can see some character scars on the lens. I body slammed this camera into a tide pool in a river in Japata de Manchita, Bahia. And you can see that there. And some water got inside the lens, and I just took a hairdryer and I blew the hairdryer on the lens for about 20 minutes, and the moisture came out of the lens. And I also took this camera underneath Iguazu Falls, and the next day there was some moisture inside the viewfinder there, but it eventually dried.